Okay, welcome back to a new video. Today's video is going to be about trapping. Something that I love doing and have loved doing for many years. So I'm out here today. It's January 5th, so there's only like 26 days of trapping. And it's got to really hit those days hard so that we can put fur in the shed and make money. So today I'm going to be going out and setting some traps, mostly I think pretty much just for coons because I like coons. And we're going to be showing you how to catch coons the easy way. Now the easy way is with dog-proof traps. I have so many dog-proof traps I don't even know where they all are. So all you got to do is set your trap, which takes like 30 seconds max. Put some dog food in it and you stick it in the ground. So setting dog proofs is really easy, and they're small. They're just easy. You don't have to dig holes and make these sets. Now, they're not ideal for everywhere. Most places they work to perfection, but sometimes you do, especially in areas that have more water in them. If you're doing a creek bed or something like that, then you're going to need a Duke 1.5 coil spring, just a foothold trap. But for today's purposes, we're going to be pretty much hitting up all dog-proof traps for our coon. And basically I'm going to show you ideally, the ideal is kind of a coon, the whole thing of trapping the coon, setting the trap, catching the actual coon, skinning it and fleshing it and stretching it, all the things that you do to take an actual coon and turn it into something, and basically turn it into something like this. So anyway, we'll get our traps and we'll get to it. Things you're going to need. You're going to need a dog-proof trap because that's your trap that you're setting. And then you're going to need some kind of bait, dog food, fish oil. It basically smells like dead fish, and coons love it. Gotta love that maple syrup. This is Caven's Quality Animal Lures Moonshine Edition. It's for raccoons. This stuff smells like straight up moonshine. Normally for this kind of stuff, I have my Nards trapping bucket that I normally use when I'm doing all kinds of sets. But because everything's so small and I keep it up, I have this tool belt. And between this and my new bougie Carhartt overalls that has about 50 pockets, I can take all this stuff out into the woods for trapping and I still have my hands free. Wow, these traps are loud. So a good thing to think about when you're setting traps is location. Food and water are great things for coons, and there's some water and food actually right there, and a cornfield right there. Yeah, so it's basically like 20 yards. You have stuff like that on the ground because there's coons traveling back and forth between. So yeah, let me see if I can show you. If you can see up there, it's a big old tree. There's a den hole up there. There's a cornfield out there, and then right here is a nasty pond, but it is still a pond. Anyway, here's a dog proof right here. Had it right here. I've caught 3 coons and a possum on this set right here. So I'm going to show you how to set a dog proof. Alright, so right here is our dog proof trap. It's right here by this tree, like I said, by the pond. Really great spot, high percentage spot for catching raccoons. That's why I've caught so many here. First thing you're going to want to do in this is set your trap, stake it down. You know, those are the first things that you need to do. It's already staked down. So I'm going to set it. If you don't know how to set one of these, well, let me bring you in for this. Come in here. Yeah, there you go. Now, what you're going to do is you are going to push this in until this goes over that. Then you're just going to push this down and hook it in your dog there, your lever there, and it's all set. How these traps work is when a coon comes along and there's food in there, they'll reach down in and they'll start eating the food. And then once they feel the trigger, they'll think it's a piece of food mixed in right there. So that when they pull up on it, then the trap will fire and it'll just grab their hand in there. Nice little holding them there. Why they're dog proof is because they're about 1.25 inches around tube, and dogs, when they push their paws down in because their paws spread out so they can't get their hand down in there and grab food. And you need to be able to hook the trigger and pull up on it, which coons, because they have fingers, can do, but dogs or cats cannot do. So next thing you want to do is I just take a handful, put it in there. I fill it about halfway full. Sprinkle some around the trap. For this one, because I'm right beside a pond, gonna use fish oil and just spray that in here and just kind of spray it around a little bit to really get the coons interested. Woo! Some good smelling stuff. Anyway, there's your set trap. That was with me explaining it. That's how long it took. I'm gonna go do the same thing a bunch more times, but I'm not gonna video it because it's the exact same thing, just a bunch more times. This is the end of today's segment of the video. Until next time, see ya. Alright, it's the next day. Yesterday, I ended up surprisingly only setting 4 dog-proof traps. And I've already checked 2 of them. And so I'm here at the 3rd one, and we got this dude all sprawled out. This is the 2nd coon that I caught here. The first coon actually got itself stuck right in there. And so it was just like kind of sitting in there, and its back legs couldn't touch, so it couldn't really move. Anyways, that was pretty cool. This is a very good set. Right here, there's a very well-traveled trail out to that cornfield, and it just comes in. If you're trapping a woods that is a field, look for trails that go out to the field, because there will be some, and there will be coons traveling. And you can just see, I mean, I found multiple corn cobs and corn husk even right in there. There's some corn husk. Anyhow, judging by the lack of a trap circle, I'm going to say I caught it fairly recently. I don't think it was here all night, but... Alright, so this is a 22 Super Shot. Just a nice little pistol that I can carry and just have the regular 22 bullets. And this is what I use to kill everything. It does coons, it does foxes, coyotes, everything. One shot, just like that, it's done. So we're going to go ahead and dispatch this coon. It's okay. Alright, so there he is, and this coon has an astounding feature that I've never seen before on a coon. It doesn't have a tail, so that's interesting. I've never seen that before. It's just a tailless coon. Okay, so welcome back. Out here in the skinning shed now, and we're going to be skinning this coon up. Now, something I noticed about this coon that I hadn't noticed before is, so obviously, like I said, this coon was missing a tail. I also noticed that it's missing its right front leg. Yeah, so it's missing its tail and its leg. So this coon, I mean, he was probably living a pretty rough life. It's just weird that, yeah, just missing appendages. I just find it kind of funny that the one time I'm skinning an animal, doing like an animal tutorial, he's missing his appendages. But, it is what it is. So this is a male coon. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. I'm just going to stretch him out. A little bit. So for my main knife, I would use just a plain utility knife here. You can get different skinning knives. You can use a lot of different knives, but I'm going to use a utility knife. And for this coon, normally you need some tail materials, but probably won't need anything. So the only 2 things that I'm probably going to be using is that knife, and then this. This is actually just a knife sharpener, but I use it to I'll show you how I use it. Just some kind of metal rod or something, rebar or something can come in handy. That's all I'm going to be using for this coon. But for a regular coon with its appendages still connected, you might need other things like tail strippers. There's different varieties of tail strippers out there, and also a tail zipper. Alright, so yeah, just cutting from one heel all the way up to the other heel. Just one straight cut. Now the next thing that you want to do is, I like to come up here to around where the leg is up here at the top. Just going to cut around the heel, cutting on the inside of the skin so you don't cut the hair, which will severely dull your blade. And then just once you got it cut the entire way around. I use my knife to work it down a little bit. And then once you have a flap big enough there that you can pull on, just grab it and just pull the leg down. Really simple. Just like that. And then do the same thing on the other side. Alright, now here's where it gets tricky. Normally you'd pull the tail down and just cut up the tail around the rear end and stuff. But I'm going to try this the best I can do. No promises. So now I've worked the skin down enough that I can pinch in there and feel under the tailbone. That's where this guy comes in. You're just going to stick him under the tailbone, pop him through, and then just pull down to give you a cut off there. Now I'm actually just going to take this longer fillet knife and cut it off right here. This is not what you would normally do, but because of the lack of tail, that's what I'm going to do. Just going to continue to work the skin down the body by, well, just pulling, I guess. Sometimes if the coon's slippery and it's hard to grip, you can roll the fur up, that already pulled off fur, and just pull down. That makes it a lot easier and gives you a little bit more traction. Alright, now the front legs is where it really gets fun. Just kind of skinning along the front leg there. You gotta skin lightly so you don't cut the skin. Make sure right here in between the legs, put your finger in there, make sure that's pulled down far enough. Now this is where this guy's gonna come in handy again. You're just gonna stick him through here. You can kind of pinch it up, you can see where the elbow is, and then you just kind of pop it through there like that, and just pull down. Then I like to use my hands and then just cut it off. And you just do the same thing on the other side. So got the front leg situation all worked out. Pulled it down the neck. Now we're at the head, the final step here, and probably the most difficult step. You can feel like the nose is right there. Like this is just the last little bit of the head, and you can see two like bulges of cartilage. That's their ears. And when you get down to where they're bulging out, not in the skin, but in the actual carcass, then you just, right above the skin, just give a slit. And you'll see that the ears are right there, and you just want to cut that off. You can stick your finger in there, make sure you cut all around it, get it cut off like that. Same thing on the other side. Then you can stick your fingers in the ears and it'll help you work down the face. Alright, next thing you're going to do is you're going to come to the eyes. The eyes are the hardest part of the entire animal. So you'll come down past the ears to roughly where the eyes are, and you'll see there'll be a darker spot, and you can feel that there's I guess their eye sockets are right there. So you're just going to bring it down, and right there you can see the eye starting to cut through. Just going to cut that down around the eye, just like that. Then do the same thing on the other side. Once you get down to where the jaws are, you can stick your fingers in the sides of the mouth and help you pull down to get a lot more pressure on the face area. Then from there you're just going to work it all the way down to the nose. Now once you got it down to the nose, you can just cut the nose right off, just like that, and then cut the back lip right off. And you're done. Okay, now that you're done skinning it, I'm going to turn your attention over a little bit. Finished skinning the coon, got it all skinned out and everything. And now I just took it and I put it on my fleshing beam. I'm going to let it sit there overnight. And then tomorrow I'm going to come out because it is cold outside, it will have cooled way down and the fat becomes hard. And it becomes way easier to just scrape off the body. So I will see you tomorrow when I come out to flesh it. So I'm out here and it's the next day, and I'm here with the coon. Sat out overnight, got below freezing. Right now it's 37 degrees outside, so it's cooled way down and the fat has hardened up nicely. And so now we're going to be doing my absolute least favorite part of the coon, which is fleshing it. I'm going to be fleshing from roughly the ears down, because the head is probably not going to be used. It is going to be made into a coonskin hat for a few reasons, but the biggest one being it's missing a tail, so it wouldn't look too extravagant hanging on a wall. So I'm going to work from the neck down, the neck, back, neck, and back right here. First like 8-10 inches or so is the hardest part. Everything else after that is pretty easy. So we're going to start right up here by the ears, and I'm just going to use my sharp knife and glide lightly and work the fat down. Right, there's the bullet. Then once you get far enough down to the front leg, you can just put the front leg right on the top of your board there and just flush away. So here is your finished coon, roughly what it looks like. Took a lot of fat off of it, as you can see. Alright, now we will move on to the final step. Alright, so the final step of this process is stretching the raccoon. I'm using a wire stretcher here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the coon and stick it over the wire stretcher. As you can see, there's just no tail there. It's not normally what you have on coons, but that's what we've got today, so that's what we're going to work with. Just going to come over here and just attach this, I guess right where the tail would be, and pull down. And then going to flip it over to the back side here. One thing I like to do is right here, come in right here, where this is, come right above it. And I'm just going to give a clean cut down the legs here on the stomach side on both sides. Just like that, and then this is just scrap like that. Now got to stretch the legs. Just going to come up here, take this on the inside corner of the leg and hook it in to the inside barb on this, and do the same thing on the other side. Pull them down, stretch the stomach side out. Now once you got that looking all pretty and everything, going to come up to the front legs here, where they going to give them each a fresh cut, roughly 2 inches, just fresh cut. Then when you get up here to the mouth, you can see that there's a little bit of looseness right there. That needs to go, so I come down to about where it's tight, cut in, and just cut up the lip. Do that on both sides. And there you go. Now you have your coon all stretched out and everything, and ready to go dry. So I'm going to go ahead and just hang them up. So that right there is how you go out. You trap the coon, you bring it, and all the things that you need to do during the trapping season with your coons that you catch. Now I'm going to let that dry for about 3 to 7-ish days, somewhere in there. Then I'm going to come out, take it off and hang it up with all my other coons and wait until it gets warm outside so I can tan them. If you want to watch a video on how to tan a coon hide, you can click right there to watch one of my other videos on how to do that. And if you want to subscribe, you can click right down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.